1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Attention.
They are not ready for prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time. That's the name.
Prime time.
Prime time.
What time is it? Showtime prime time.
It's XL Primetime. Featuring Joe C.
I reduced my toilet paper down to 3 squares.
Matt Hayes.
Big asses and big thighs, yeah.
And Leon Searcy.
Bringing you love, peace, and soul.
Let's all back with us today. Big Searcy down and out with the back yesterday, but he is back and ready to go. Matty now out for 2 days as he's with his USA Today sports columnist job. He's bouncing back and forth from Nashville earlier this week, going out there to see that star in Boise, Idaho, the Bronco, Ashton Genty, and so he will be back before the end of the week. But your back is back.
Yeah, Joe, listen, let me tell you something. I don't wish that on anybody. Back pain, absolutely. Not even my worst enemy. When it inflames, ain't nothing you can do but sit back and take it. It's like a Charlie horse. And my back, the side of my back on the left side was on fire yesterday.
Well, I always feel for you when I think of the stories that you've told before where you had to crawl out of bed, and then the classic is just imagining crawling out of bed, but then crawling up the wall. That's the way Leon would describe it.
Yeah,
just to barely get up onto 2 feet, which is just nuts.
That's crazy. I'm better now, though.
All right, good. I'm glad you're back.
I'm heavily medicated.
So whatever he says, he doesn't necessarily have to answer.
Don't hold it against me. Don't hold it against me.
All right, so we got to go in today. Golf Club of Southampton, they bring you Wednesday's show. We say thanks to them, and they definitely have been working their tails off post-storm, and they were, like all of us, very lucky not having to worry about too many down trees or anything like that. But they got the golf course looking good. Greens are just really responding after all that dry weather, and they kind of mixed up the potion a little bit, and they got the greens looking pretty dang good. They got the Remember guys coming up this weekend, so make sure you call them 287-PLAY, get on the tee sheet, and come on out. Now, when we get into the Jaguars today, it's kind of, we've fallen into a fix-it situation, and there's a lot of things that are wrong. It's like someone pulls into the garage and says, hey, I need you to take a look at my car. It's not running right. And the mechanic looks at it and goes, well, you got 2 flat tires. All your spark plugs are bad. You just lost your water pump. Okay, there's more than one problem to this football team if we compare it to a car. There ain't no easy fixes on this football team, but they got 11 more games they've got to play, so we got to fix something, sirs.
I mean, if they're willing to play, if they're willing to go out there and execute at a very high level, I mean, and stop feeling sorry for yourself. You are who you are. You're 1-5. What can you do? You got to do something about it. How do you do something about it? Guess what? The NFL gives you an opportunity to redeem yourself every week.
Yeah, they do.
They give you an opportunity. You got to look at it like that. Instead of saying, man, we got 11 more games of this. No, you got one more game to redeem yourself.
Yeah.
From how poorly you played the week before. That's it. It's all in life. It's all about your perspective. How you look at things. All right. If you look at it, it's like, man, we got 11 more weeks of this. No, you got one more week. Turn this freaking thing around.
Yeah, and once you change it, you start to build off of what you just changed, and you can make it better. Otherwise, you're just going to be wallowing in self-pity.
Yeah, well, listen, the change comes from within. I mean, you've got to change who you are. I mean, everybody on that team has to change who you are. Whatever you think you've done is good is not good enough. Because if it was good enough, we wouldn't be sitting here at 1-5.
Right. Yeah. And by the way, I came out of the win over the Colts thinking this team could be – even though they were 1-4, just as easily 4-1. I don't feel that way anymore. I'm not going to try and talk myself into the what ifs, the Jacksonville ifs. If this would have happened or if that would have happened, it would be a different story. I feel like this season has already been baked in to fail based on what I've seen right now. But it doesn't mean it can't turn around. It doesn't mean that you don't have guys out there that have the potential to figure it out.
Well, hey, listen, to be honest with you, I mean, Doug's not going to be here more than likely next year. Let's just go and put it out there. More than likely, all right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a lot of them young cats out there that with the new regime that comes in, they're going to want to see, they're going to watch the film from last year, all right? They're going to look at your effort. They're going to look at your accountability. They're going to look at if you're making mistakes, if you're offsides, you're making penalties, all that kind of stuff. And they're going to do a thorough evaluation on that, who we want and who we need to get rid of. That's just and a lot of these young cats that are just fresh in the league and give opportunities, you better showboat. And a lot of the old cats, they're on the last leg and long in the tooth.
Yeah.
You could be out the door.
Well, let's just use some examples. Guys like, you could use Eric Armstead as an example. He came in and got handsomely paid to come in here and show that veteran leadership, playoff experience.
Cut bait.
Yeah.
I'll cut bait.
That was an expensive signing, and we can go down the line with some of the others. Brandon Sheriff has been making cake here for a while. That road is probably going to come to an end.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of cut bait. A lot of the cats are long in the tooth. They're casualties. They're going to be cap casualties.
And the expense that they went to keep Cam.
Yeah.
When they had Walker Little that they drafted, they still figured out a way to sign Cam and keep Cam.
Well, this is going to be Cam's last hurrah too. I think so. Yeah. I mean, you keep him. And I'm going to tell you another thing. I mean, Trevor has got to have conversations with some of his guys. And then Brian Thomas Jr. He's a mainstay.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, you got to make sure Christian Kirk, and a guy like Evan Ingram. You got to hope that they see the ship while sinking. You got to hope they don't go to the front office and say, hey, listen, I'm on my last leg here. I need to go to some team that's going to give me an opportunity to get the playoffs so I can shine and make this money. I mean, that's the reality of it. Christian Kirk he's not going. The only way he's going to be able to stay here next year is going to have to take a reduction in salary.
Right.
So why not ask for a trade to a better team that's playoff bound to where you can showcase your talent to get you another contract.
Yeah, he'll be costly going forward as far as his cap is concerned. I think he's a good player. I think he's been a productive player. When healthy, certainly one of the guys that was instrumental in what happened in 2022. We all know that things were going great for him and them before he got hurt. You could easily make the argument that when he went down at the beginning of December of 23, that's when a lot of things went south for this football team. So you feel for him. But, yeah, he was the most expensive wide receiver signed on the market in that 22 offseason. And
he was the first domino.
Yeah.
He was the first domino.
And by the way, a lot of wide receivers love Christian Kirk.
They do, absolutely. They got paid. They got paid because of Christian Kirk that we overpaid for him to come here. And a lot of those guys are like, whoa, wait a minute. This guy wasn't even the number one. Are you going to pay your number twos like that? Oh, I got to get paid.
Yeah, exactly. And since then, these dudes have been making a lot of lettuce. That's for sure. All right, so you mentioned it. I think we would agree as a show, maybe all of Duval, if you guys want to hit the text line, 641-1010, designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Let us know what you're thinking. You can jump in the YouTube chat and let us know, is Doug done? And I think maybe a lot of people are probably feeling that way. It's 1-5. It doesn't look good. We've got a couple of comments from him earlier today, one in particular that I want to get to about not really talking to Andre Cisco about what went down when he basically said he saw some quit out there. So I want to get into that with you. And there are other places out there that dysfunction has hit some NFL stops, not just here in Duval. They've hit a lot of other ones as well. Jerry Jones oh my God.
I was just going to ask you, is the one with the star?
He just is. He's losing it. He celebrated his birthday. His football team helped him celebrate by laying an egg and embarrassing themselves against the Detroit Lions. And then his normal radio appearance, which he's been doing it forever. Jerry, as Coach Campbell will attest, and you probably will as well, he likes the mic and he likes the camera. He doesn't shy away from either one of them. But he did go off a little bit, so I want to play that coming up and get your reaction. But let's throw the 10-10 take in early, RJ, because I want to get into coaching hires and whether or not Doug is done. Because you start looking around the league, and the cycle it's wicked, it's unforgiving, and if you get caught up in it, it can take a while to build back.
Now, Josie's 10-10 take. Slow smoked and served up by Sonny's Barbecue. Local pitmasters since 68.
We've said it often that as much as you go through that might be bad, a good meal can fix a lot of things. And you can head on into any one of your area Sonny's, order up that big old rack of ribs, maybe ribs and chicken. You could do a 3-protein combo, all those tremendous sizes. Check it all out at any one of your area Sonny's. So I started doing a little research, sirs, and I went back and I found a bunch of numbers going back even all the way to the early 2000s. But most recently, the urban hiring cycle and the Doug Peterson hiring cycle. And Herb's run in 2021, we know that didn't last very long here, but there are very few that are still standing around the rest of the National Football League. Guys like Brandon Staley, guys like Arthur Smith, Robert Saleh was the most recent one to get canned. David Culley, he got canned after 1 year. We can go down the line with all these guys that got canned. Nick Sirianni's still standing, but how long, we don't know. Dan Campbell looks like the best of the bunch. Todd Bowles was hired the next year. But we're talking about 7 guys that were replaced that year, and there's only a couple of them that are still standing. Then you follow that with 2022, where we will run through those coming up in just a second. It ain't easy to find the right guy. I thought Jacksonville had, and maybe now they haven't. That's the 10-10 take. After 2022, you're like, oh, my gosh, Doug Peterson, this is going to be a smash hit.
Well, I mean, listen, there's only one team that shows the kind of loyalty to a coach like the Steelers. You're talking about Mike Tomlin, who's been there forever. But a lot of these franchises and organizations, man, it's just like first-round quarterbacks. Your leash gets shorter. You know, back in the day, guys got longer leashes, longer time to develop or whatever. Coaching staffs as well. Coaching staffs are given a period of time to turn the table around and win some ball games. And if they don't, then they get fired. Yeah, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because listen, I'm not a proponent of coaches getting fired, but if it smells bad and it plays bad, then it's all bad, and you got to get rid of it. You got to get the stench out the room, and you got to bring somebody. You got to bring in that new car smell. Yeah, when it stinks, you get rid of the car and you bring a new one in. That's what these organizations are doing, and they're usually tied into. Usually with the head coach or GM is usually tied into a first-round quarterback to some extent. Yes. And if he's not developing, if he's not ascending the way they feel that he should be ascending, and your team is losing ball games, and you spend money on free agent, and you don't draft well, that surmounts to you getting fired eventually.
And the thing is that I like what you did because you got to add both of them together. Yes, it can be head coach hell or head coach heaven based on who you get or who you don't get. But the general manager can cause a team a lot of problems or might be able to rescue them and pull them out of the ashes. See what we're dealing with here. Trent Baalke is now under attack. He is now returned to one of the guys at the top of the list that folks want to get rid of. You may go Doug, you may go Trent, you may go both, because that definitely has been mentioned a 1,000 times, 1,000 different ways. But GMs and head coaches either solve problems or make problems. And you can throw the quarterback in there as well. But honestly, when you think about what these teams have gone through, in Jacksonville just being one of them, they ain't the only one. I started looking through some of these lists of head coaches. It is endless. And you can go back 20, and again, you have to remember this football team stuck with Gus Bradley too long. Then decided to hire within and promote Doug Marrone. And that basically made up close to a decade with one good season. We're talking, and if you want to include the 1 year of Mike Mularkey, my gosh, man, you can go from 2012 to 2020 with 2021 with one successful season. And you go through the line, and if I quizzed you, sirs, like in 2019, one of the guys that's still standing that others are probably wishing they had is Matt LaFleur. A great hire in 2019. He's been able to absorb the departure of Aaron Rodgers. He's turned Jordan Love for the here and now into what looks like a promising player. They just paid him, but Matt LaFleur still has his gig. Zach Taylor still has his gig. But back is up against the wall a little bit with the way the Bengals have started. Kevin Stefanski still has his gig. Same thing. Kind of has his back up against the wall as much or more than Zach Taylor. The rest of them, you ready for this? You start looking at the cats that were hired in 2019. Excuse me, Kevin Stefanski was hired the next year. But the ones in 2019, Cliff Kingsbury, gone, had the number 1 pick. Freddie Kitchens was hired in 2019. They bounced him and then had to go to get Kevin Stefanski the following year. So Freddie Kitchens was there 1 year. Vic Fangio in Denver didn't last very long. They went from him to Nate to Sean. So Fangio was hired in 2019. He's on at least his second job since then. You go to Brian Flores, that didn't work out. Adam Gase, that didn't work out up in New York. And Bruce Arians, who stepped away after his run in Tampa Town. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. That is.
It's hard.
It is. It is. That's a carousel right there, bro.
All right, so let's get to some Jerry Jones chatter, some Doug Peterson chatter coming up here in just a second. Should Doug have done more about what Andre Sisco said? We'll get into that. And then Jerry Jones just let loose on the radio yesterday, and we will find out whether or not he has more to say as far as what's happening in Dallas. But it ain't just in Duval. You got Philly, you got Dallas, you got Pittsburgh with a winning record, maybe ready to sit down Justin Fields and give Russell a try, which is just crazy. But we will get into all of it, plus plenty of college football coming up. It is a Golf Club of Southampton Wednesday. Joe C., Big Searcy, and RJ.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers. If you want more action,
Woo! It's Smash Mouth football, baby.
Tom McManus.
Fridays 10 to noon on Jaguars Today.
Brought to you by Renewal by Anderson Windows and Doors. A better way to a better window on 1010XL.
Hey everybody, Jennifer Marion with Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville here to say hello, and we'd sure like to have your business.
You know what? They're going to love the king of price.
My dad believes in making great deals and having a great selection in stock.
Cadillac XT4s, XT5s, and XT6s, and Escalades.
The all-electric Cadillac Lyriq.
CT4s and CT5s.
Cadillac luxury and selection is just waiting for you.
At Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
And don't forget, tell them Jennifer sent ya.
Injured in an accident? Have mounting medical bills? Can't work? Don't worry. Zach's got your back. I'm Zach Von Rowan of Von Rowan Law. I will fight for the compensation that you deserve. Set up your free consultation at zachsgotyourback.com.
Now, the Hurricane Report. Brought to you by Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Miami's coming off a bye week after 2 last-second victories over Cal and Virginia Tech. Up next, it's Louisville on the road at noon. Miami is a 4.5-point favorite. Fortunately for the Hurricanes, it looks like offensive tackle Jalen Rivers will be able to make his first appearance of the season. The Miami Hurricane Report brought to you by Performance Painting.
Joe C. for CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. And if your dream is to create that space where you're living large in your backyard, then you need to get with the good people at CSS. They put a gas log in our fireplace, an awesome fire pit out back where the kids can toast s'mores and we can just hang out and watch the game. It's all part of your outdoor living experience with CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living.
You dream it, we build it. CSS.
Homeowners, listen up. The Fed is taking action, lowering rates for the first time in years, and Loan Pronto has followed suit, lowering mortgage rates big time. Prosser here. That means this is the best chance in 2 years to do a cash-out refi and unlock all that equity at an amazing rate. Loan Pronto has fixed loans under 5% APR, the lowest in 2 years. You can get a fast refi and get $50,000 to $75,000, even $100,000 in cash. Use it to pay off all your credit cards, personal loans, car loans. You'll end up with one payment each month. And for most homeowners, they save over $850 every month. If you want to keep your original mortgage intact, ask about the Loan Pronto Express Equity Line of Credit. If you act now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. So call now. Get your rate quote in minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. 999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781.
He's not Pistol Pete, he's Pete Prisco.
Been on the wanted list almost 20 years.
CBS Sports senior NFL writer Pete Prisco joins the Frangie Show Friday afternoons on 1010XL. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes, and I speak for everyone here at 1010XL when I say congratulations, Hacker. 100 pounds lost with a Waco 180 is a huge milestone, and we are so proud of you. Life-changing, life-enhancing. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Dailies Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Dailies is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
David Garrard here. Playing in the NFL can put a lot of wear and tear on your body, especially your knees. Southeast Orthopedic Specialist has kept me mobile and ready to tackle every day.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialist, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
16 years serving great craft beer in Jacksonville is saying something, and that's worth a round of applause. And Bold City Brewery is celebrating. Duval's oldest brewery is set up for a big party October 12th, and you don't want to miss it. All the details are at boldcitybrewery.com.
Don't make a bad call when it comes to servicing your home. Cooling off with a baby pool in the house to fix your air conditioning problem is a bad call. Trying to catch a wave in a flooded bathroom is a bad call. Using a burning electrical panel to make s'mores is a bad call. The next time something goes wrong, make a good call to Donovan.
Whether you need air, electric, or plumbing service, Donovan is always a good call. It's why we've been trusted by our customers for almost 40 years and why you can trust us to deliver fast, reliable service to your home. Donovan, always a good call.
Visit DonovanAC.com today.
Welcome to ABS Advanced Business Solutions, your local authorized technology partner and home to Xerox copiers.
Advanced Business Solutions.
Hey, it's Mike Dempsey, and you know how I feel about Pella Windows and Doors. Great design, strongest warranties, and the highest quality product. I even chose Pella Windows for my own home. And whether you're a homeowner replacing windows or building a new home or a trade professional working with clients, I know the design experts at Pella will help your project run smoothly and look great. Visit PellaJacks.com or the Pella showroom on Phillips Highway. That's Pella Windows and Doors.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. This is XL Primetime. Brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool. On 1010XL.
Hanging out at a golf club of Southampton Wednesday. Gorgeous day. How about the cool weather when you walk out the door early in the morning?
A little nippy.
Yeah.
Had to take out the trash, man. It was about 60. A little cold.
And it's supposed to, kiss 40 or something tonight.
Wow.
So I don't know where. Look, we've been dealing with hot, and then we had the scares of either hurricanes or tropical storms, and it is time. We're about to hand out some Halloween candy. We're about to start talking draft 24/7. It should get cold at some point, right?
Yeah.
We'll take it. So Golf Club of Southampton, it's becoming long sleeve weather, pants weather.
See, Jaguars don't understand when they play bad, they bring the frost early.
Yeah, they do, man.
They do, bro.
Oh, and you just basically got to, hibernate, which I'm sure some fans are thinking about doing, hibernating from football.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I got two things to throw at Leon Searcy, and you guys can jump in, 641-1010, hit the text line. Jerry Jones certainly made news yesterday. We want to play that just so you guys can react to it, and in particular, Big Sirs. But the other one we got to get to first is Doug Peterson, your head coach here in Duval, after Andre Cisco basically said, well, he said it. We heard it. It was the audio was right there to be played again, courtesy of Action Sports Jacks, is that he saw some quit out there, and I'm paraphrasing. You got Cisco's first, RJ. Just let's play that, and then let's play Doug Peterson. Go ahead and hit it.
I don't know. I just felt like it was, how should I say this? A lot of quit. And, I don't know, last line of defense, in a situation like that, you could feel when we're playing as one and when we're not. And felt very early in the game, once things maybe at halftime, that we weren't playing as one.
And the one thing that still jumps out at me is he says last line of defense, and that screams either all the secondary or the safety position itself. I don't know whether he was narrowing it down he said that?
Well, I get from him is that he was saying that we're the last line of defense. He's basically saying the second level and the first and the second level ain't getting it done to where we're the last line of defense. Yeah. So he's basically talking about his D-line and his linebacker core not getting it done.
That is interesting. All right, so if you don't mind, RJ, let's do both of these, 4 and 5, from Dougie Fresh. 4, because basically he's saying that, well, he's basically saying that Cisco's saying it, he'll have to learn from it, and then we'll play with the next comment from Doug.
I think we got to continue to, just press forward. And, he obviously will learn from this, and his teammates will rally around him. They're not looking at him any different. They want him to perform and play, and that's what he'll do.
Yeah. Well, listen, what's not acknowledged is allowed. Mm-hmm. What's not addressed is allowed.
Yeah.
I know we didn't go back to the other recording where Doug is going to say he hadn't talked to Cisco yet. Right. I know we're going to hear that one, whatever.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he said he's going to learn from it. Well, he's got to learn that everybody is not privy to what you should be saying in the locker room. If you're frustrated that the D-line's not getting any pressure and the linebackers aren't covering, then you go in the locker room at halftime and you call out the guys. You say, hey, man, listen, we need to get some pass rush. Mm-hmm. Linebackers, y'all need to cover. I mean, we can't just be doing this on our – that's what we've had. I've been in those locker rooms. I've had those conversations. I've heard those conversations.
Yeah.
If the D-line ain't getting no pressure, they're not stopping the run, or that linebackers aren't making plays and stuff like that, those conversations, it may be a lot of cursing and fussing and going on or whatever, but the person who said it, he understands it, and the person who's receiving, he may be offended initially, but he's basically telling guys to step up.
And it's eye-to-eye, jersey to jersey, right?
That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
You're supposed to address your teammates, hey, man, listen, y'all need to play better up front. We can't be on, we're on the back end, and we're taking all this heat.
Right.
Y'all got to play better.
Yeah. Pressure the quarterback.
Yeah.
And then it's so funny because Matt was railing yesterday about Devin Lloyd dropping in coverage. Linebackers have to cover, okay? Mm-hmm. I said it yesterday. I'll keep saying it. I know that he would like to see him rushing the passer, but positionally, Devin Lloyd is a linebacker. He's been playing Mike. He's been playing outside. He has had some opportunities to rush the quarterback, but he still has to cover guys like Cole Kmet, who torched him.
Yeah, I mean, especially if that coverage is called.
Yeah.
You can't be out there freelancing. You got to do what the assignment football tells you to do.
Yeah.
And when you're in Tampa 2, cover 2 defense like that, your job is run back middle.
Right.
And he stood, got beat, and jogged.
Yeah, which is what you have pointed out correctly.
Yeah, can't do that, man. You
All
can't.
right, here's the other one from Dougie. As far as whether or not he went to Andre Cisco after everything was said post locker room with the Bears loss.
I have not, and quite frankly, sometimes I don't feel like I need to in those situations. I just think the team and just give him a couple days to process, and he was much better again today.
Man,
interpretation.
Man, listen, Tom Coughlin would have had me in his office an hour after he heard that, because it had to be addressed. It has to be addressed because Doug is on the ropes. He's reeling. Yeah. You're basically saying that there was quit out there. That's underneath Doug Peterson's watch. He's saying that underneath your watch.
Yeah.
Under your tutelage as the coach of this team, you got people quitting on you. You can't have that. Yeah. And you're saying it frankly. You say, well, to be honest with you, I saw a lot of quit out there. That's frank.
Mm-hmm.
You saying you saw a lot of quit out there. That's the whole coaching staff. I don't think he's talking about the offense. I think he's talking about the defense.
Sure, yeah.
The first and second levels. He's saying that they're not giving full effort. I mean, he would have to address that to me and let me know who are you talking about. You can't just say that kind of stuff out of context and just think you're going to get away with it. Because, well, listen, what's not addressed is allowed.
Right, exactly.
So if Doug said he hasn't talked to him, then I guess you know what, they're going to take turns. Then next week, the Patriots will have somebody's going to say on the offensive side, hey, there was some quit.
And
what if Trevor had said it? What if Trevor had said it?
Oh yeah. That would have made it doubly worse. And that's the thing is in Coach Campo, who will be in with us tomorrow, but he has said it. Whenever something like that happens, and you have said it, you have to deal with it internally and immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Both of those things need to happen.
Yeah, it's fine. Listen, I may be sounding a little Gran Torino, but I mean that's conduct detrimental. It's a finable offense. I mean, listen, the only way you get through the players to keep them, refrain them from doing stuff like that again is you sit them or you fine them.
Yeah, and you got to, I would think, and again, I don't mind if a player calls out other players, because we had folks on XL Primetime either on our text line or in the chat saying, wait a minute, Big Sirs, you said you wanted them to name names.
Internally.
Yeah, you can do it face-to-face, jersey to jersey.
Yes, that's how you. That's called man up. That's going to your teammate's face and saying, hey, man, I don't like your effort. You got to give me more of this. You got to give me more of that. And then he may say something to you, and you may say something to him, and you may push, and y'all may fight. But you know what? You got your point across.
Yeah.
Eye to eye, man to man.
Yeah.
None of this behind the back stuff to the media. Because everybody, I say this, I love the fans, I love the media, but everybody is not privy to the locker room and the conversations that are going on within the locker room.
Yeah.
And that kind of conversation you got to have with your teammate, eye to eye, man to man.
Totally. And then when that question is asked of Doug, hey, yeah, we've dealt with it as a team.
Yes.
Players have talked to his teammates have talked to him. He's talked to his teammates. I've talked to him. We've handled this internally, and and then make that statement. We have to make sure that we're playing as one, that we're unified, so on and so forth. I do think there's a way to say that and not come across as, because right now he's basically saying someone else needs to handle that problem. And you've mentioned many times that it's still a team that can be led by the locker room as opposed to the coaches. And he may be trying to let it happen that way, but he's still the head coach.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask, if I can ask both of you guys, as one guy being in the locker room, another guy who's covered the team, since their inception. Do you think Doug Peterson may be a guy who's saying, you know what, Cisco's a young guy. He's never been in that situation before. He thought that he was doing something well within his right. He was calling out his teammates, not trying to be, trying to point fingers openly, but I guess trying to just call them out and say, listen, we got to play better the next week. So I don't really have to address it just due to the fact he's a young guy. He's never been in that situation.
Well, we're talking year 4 now.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, I mean, how long you want to be a newborn? I mean, you can only walk a newborn for so long until you got to let go and let him walk, right?
Right.
I mean, you can't make an excuse for that he's young. He's young. He's old enough to know better. He's been in the locker room long enough to know that you don't address issues pertaining to your teammates with the media.
Right.
I mean, you can listen, you can only hold a newborn's hands for so long. At once, you got to let go and let him walk.
Yeah, and he was drafted the same year Trevor Lawrence was drafted.
That part.
Okay, and so these guys have been in the league for 4 years. If Brian Thomas is popping off and saying something like that, whomever, a rookie, then you might say, hey, let me just at least tell you how this goes, and that type of thing. But no, year 4, contract year, we've talked about it. He may, and I do believe he wants to be a leader. He obviously wants to get paid, but you have certain ways to lead, and basically calling people out through the media without doing it inside, I think would probably bring more problems and solve more problems.
Well, this is how you lead. Lead by example. I mean, Cisco hasn't been a world beater these last few weeks.
Not this year.
He had one interception, and that was shot put to him.
Yeah.
Okay? Let's just put it like that.
It was. All right. We're going to keep going on the Jags. I got to get through some of these coaches that, honestly, you think you got it bad. There have been a lot of bad hires out there in the National Football League. You go back in time last decade and a half. I'm telling you, some sucky decisions. And this football team now dealing with whether or not they're going to be able to peel themselves off the wall after a 1-5 start. So we'll get back to that. Pat Dooley, let's say hello to him. Let's talk a little Gator ball. They go from Rocky Top and an overtime loss to get ready for the million-a-win coach and Mark Stoops. So we'll do a little college ball coming up on a Golf Club of Southampton Wednesday.
Cruising with XL Primetime in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
Who has the best lineup this season? Honda. Cars, trucks, SUVs, vans, hybrids, and electric. This is one of the greatest lineups Honda has ever had. And now is the best time to purchase or lease one. Visit your local Honda dealer now. Remember, only a Honda is a Honda.
Joe C. for Roland Reese Plumbing. We're talking over a quarter of a century, a successful business. When Roland and them set out to open up their business, they said, look, we need to provide service, quality work, make sure people are happy with the job that we do, and then they'll call us back. That is a pretty simple strategy, and they've been doing it for a long time. You can log on plumbingjacksonville.com. We're talking about anything from just making sure that it ain't a slab leak or something more serious than that, or your simple plumbing repair, be it the shower, toilet, whatever it might be. Just remember, when you got a leak and you can't wait a week, you need to call Roland Reich Plumbing.
SportsForecaster.com has all the data you need to project tomorrow's winners. Register for free and track the performance of all your favorite players and teams, including all your fantasy team picks and prospects. Sports Forecaster has the most detailed player profiles on the web, precise depth charts, every transaction, every injury, every news update. No ranting or raving, no preening or barstool bluster. At SportsForecaster.com, you get the timely info you need for every game. SportsForecaster.com. Sign up for free today.
Roof damage? Call before you claim. Green Law Group, fighting insurance companies for you. They will work for you when you have roof damage. Don't let your insurance deny you. Don't call an adjuster. Call Green Law Group at 904-302-7055. Remember, if you have roof damage, call Green Law Group before you claim. They've settled millions and will work hard to get your claim and new roof. Green Law Group. Call before you claim. 904-302-7055.
Make a crucial catch against colon cancer. Hicken here for the Borland Groover Foundation. If you're 45 or older, the ball is in the red zone to get screened. The key to surviving colon cancer, early detection and prevention. 45 is the new 50. Get screened for colon cancer now. The Borland Groover Foundation is a nonprofit organization devoted to building a healthy and equitable community that is free from colon cancer. Visit BorlandGrooverFoundation.com for more.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg, the president of Underwoods. Clayton, I know you're the head diamond buyer at Underwoods, and you travel to the markets to buy diamonds. Why don't you just look at an emailed list and have them send you the diamond?
Frank, there are a couple of reasons we go straight to the source when we're selecting the diamonds we want to put the Underwood name on. First, as an expert diamond buyer, I have to see a diamond before I can really judge its beauty versus the price it's being offered at. Second, when we're at the source, we have huge selections to choose our diamonds from, so we don't have to compromise the Underwood quality standard. The result is we control what goes into our diamond stock instead of allowing a diamond dealer to send us what he wants us to have. The bottom line is we're able to offer our customers carefully selected, beautiful diamonds that we're proud to have carry the Underwood name.
Underwood, serving excellence since 1928 in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops of Ponte Vedra.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On October 16, 1974, MLB Oakland A's pitcher Ken Holtzman, in his first at-bat of the season, hits third-inning home run in Game 4 of the World Series.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Instant Keys saves the day if you have lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call 722-1111.
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Electricians, innovators, and tech enthusiasts, listen up. Miller Electric is shaping the future, and we want you to be a part of it. From healthcare and data centers, corporate offices, aviation, and industrial facilities, Miller Electric is powering the most exciting projects in Jacksonville and beyond. We offer not just a job, but a thrilling career with great pay and incredible benefits. Visit us at millercareers.com to apply. Miller Electric, where your skills meet our vision, and equal opportunity employer.
The Jaguars are back at Everbank Stadium to go head-to-head with the Green Bay Packers for our crucial catch game. Join us October 27th as we fight cancer through early detection, risk reduction, and awareness all game long. Lock in your tickets now by visiting jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We'll see you there.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality product and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
This is Dr. Steve Crenshaw, Assistant Team Physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Tuesday was a monumental day for the city of Jacksonville and the Jaguars organization, with a unanimous vote by NFL owners to pass the Jaguars' $1.4 billion stadium renovation. Jaguars owner Shad Khan on the significance of this day.
I'd be quoting when we were here, okay, because when the deal got done, this is the second most important day for the city, first being the day they got the team, and now this is not only a stadium, but really reaffirms the confidence everyone has in Jacksonville and the Jaguars being there.
Shad Khan on Tuesday. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line.
Hello.
We can wiggle it.
All right, I have to slide my sheet of what's bad in thisville over to the side to open up this book of what's bad in thatville as we say hello to Pat Dooley, formerly the columnist of the Gainesville Sun, still a superstar in Hogtown with a duly noted podcast, WRUF work, and Gators Wire. Welcome in, Pat. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing great. It's a beautiful day in Gainesville, FLA.
Listen, these Vills are in trouble, man. You know it. I know it. Big Searcy knows it. But I really wanted to drill down on what the feeling was before we actually go back to the game, Pat, because this was one, obviously, that Florida was in and could have won. What has been the chatter over in Gainesville since then?
Well, I mean, you have a lot of people that just want everybody. They want the janitor fired. I mean, they want everybody fired. And then there are people that say, hey, look, let's give this guy some time still. But he's gonna have to show them something down the stretch. And personally, I don't see how it's going to happen. So, I mean, this is a potential to be a 3-9 team. And you can't keep a 3-9 coach.
No.
So it's just he's going to have to show us something remarkable here, starting with this game Saturday. And again, he's going up against a defense that's going to be tough.
Now, Dooley, I mean, you've watched the last 6 games. I mean, is there anybody on offense or anybody on defense that, no matter what the leadership is next year, that you can actually build on that's been impressive?
Well, I think there's a couple of guys that have been impressed. I mean, Trey Wilson's a good player. He's just been hurt most of the year. You know, obviously they've got good tight ends. They've got good skill players now. I mean, DK's come through, and obviously you can build off Lagway. The running backs are pretty good. The offense, but they've got to figure out a way to get better. Obviously in the red zone, and this has been an ongoing problem. That's the problem. You know. That everything they did wrong Saturday night, they've done wrong for 3 years, and that's where people get frustrated. The 12 men on the field for the made field goal, the not going for 2. I'm a big believer. You go for 2 on the road when you got a chance to bury a team. And you know, obviously some of the play calls that people didn't like. The play calls, I get that you didn't like them. You didn't like them. You know when you didn't like them is after they happen. That's when you started saying, "Oh, I know that's a terrible call." So I mean, look, there's a lot of heat on this guy. There's no doubt about it. There's a lot of heat on the AD. There's a lot of people wondering what's going to happen next. But there's no point in firing a guy halfway through his 3rd season because what all you're doing is setting up red flags. Hey, guess what? Don't come here because you got 2.5 years.
Yeah, I get it because the next agent that's going to be negotiating is going to say we need more job security because of what you just.
He's going to want a Jimbo Fisher buyout.
Yeah, and so that part I totally get, and we don't even know who's going to make the hire, and we've heard from dignitaries over there like yourself, like Shane Matthews, who are all plugged in that says the boosters will have a major say in who's next. Obviously, the president, it's not 100% as far as the president going forward, but still will have a say over Scott Strickland, correct?
Well, that's going to be the interesting part. Florida has always allowed the AD to work on his own and get the job done and go make the hire. And I don't know that that's going to happen because the current AD, who I'm a good friend with and I like him very much, but he's 0 for 2. And he's 0 for 2, and he really hasn't. Todd Golden is his own lone feather in his cap as far as hires. And so is this going to be a booster hire? I don't think it's going to. It's definitely not going to be a Kent Fox hire, but he's not going to be out of that job for a while because it'll take a year to get a new president in here. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I think this may be one of those few times where the boosters step in and go, "We're going to handle this." But now I know who they want, and then all they're doing is getting the same guy. They're getting another guy who can't win big games.
Wow. Now, Dooley, DJ Lagway's Billy Napier's recruit, and now more than likely Billy's going to probably be gone at the end of this season. How vested will the Florida Gators be in keeping Lagway here, or will you probably go and look for another Lagway somewhere else?
Well, I think Florida would be would want to keep him, would want to pay him. They've been paying him since he was in high school, and if Billy did go, I think DJ would go right with him. I don't think he's got a relationship with Billy that's very, and I think there are a lot of players. I've heard this from people within there that have already said, look, you get rid of the coach, fine. I understand, but we're gone. We're not going to stick around. So this is where Florida has a real problem is, do you get rid of a coach that's beloved by his team? You saw how hard this team played for him Saturday night. And do you get rid of this guy and then you go, all right, we're going to bring another guy in, and you're going to lose your major recruits, the Miles Grahams, the Lagways, the linebacker, whose name is escaping me for a minute. Some of these other players. And I mean, again, everybody's like, if you fired Billy Napier right now, there would be 15 guys in the portal tomorrow.
Okay,
that would be the end of your season. So why do it now? That's my point.
That I totally get. You can ride it out, and people will pose the question like they did, and you can go back to the Zook days. You can go back to any of the other ones when they basically said, what you plan to do eventually you should do immediately, and that's why Jeremy Foley made that decision. And then Zucker gets toted off of Bobby Bowden Field, and they're like, wait a minute, you want to run him out? So they're worried about that. But when you look at this schedule that's coming up, Florida might be Florida State at the end of the year, but there may not be many other dubs out in front of Billy right now. So I get the idea, don't ditch him now. But at the same time, when you said Lane is kind of the same guy, I need you to explain your thoughts on that one, because Lane, I believe, comes in with a hell of a lot more accomplishments, credentials, the ability to coach and recruit miles better than Billy.
Yeah, I don't question that. My core thing is he doesn't win big games. He doesn't win on the road. Most of his road wins have been against Vanderbilt and teams that were down. That's what they've got now. Now, Lane will win more games, but I don't think that's what Florida is looking for. They're looking for somebody who's going to take them back to the level they were at. And Lane finds ways to lose games, much like Billy Napier finds ways to lose games. Look, if Lane Kiffin came in here, I would be all in favor of it. I would have no problem with it. I don't know that he wants this job. I mean, I know a lot of people say that he does, but I don't know that he does. He's got a great situation out there. And I don't know that he wants to come here and in 3 years people go, hey, we need you to get out of here.
I think the one thing that's the most attractive for Lane is marrying up his offensive mind, the ability to work the portal, the resources that he would like to have, and a passionate fan base. And he would get all of them. It's not like Hotty Toddy's not passionate, and it's not like they don't have booster support, but you would have more booster support, more financial ability to do your job. I think it would be very attractive for Lane.
I don't think you have more financial ability. In fact, I know that Mississippi's NIL is better than Florida's NIL right now. and Florida's is still not where it needs to be, and it's still there are issues still within that whole NIL community there at Florida. So, I mean, now and also you're going to walk into an empty roster, and you're not going to be given 3 years.
Yeah.
So that's why. Now, I'm not saying he wouldn't take it. I'm just saying I don't think it's as an attractive a job if you get rid of Billy Napier as it was before Billy Napier was hired, to be honest with you.
All right, so
Dan Mullen has left nothing behind either,
Very true, very true. All right, so real quick, because you know more about the collective in the NIL abilities, and you did say that you feel like Ole Miss has got it. Wouldn't Florida's have been more fruitful if there was more success on the field and it would have been more organized? Because at least to start with, when they kind of went through and they created Gator Victorious and all that kind of stuff, there was a lot of money there and available.
Well, yeah, and I think they would have been more successful. I think the problem that there's a lot of problems they have. In fact, I know that the guy that was in charge of getting the big corporate donors has bolted about a month ago. He didn't want nothing to do with it anymore because he felt like they weren't organized. And so that's the inner part of this thing. They're going after the big donors, and they're not willing to put the effort in to get the smaller donors, and that's why Florida is still behind it. It's a bit of an issue over there, and I will tell you this, and I've been told this by multiple people, so I'll go ahead and say it. Hey, what are they going to sue me? There have been a lot of boosters who've come to Florida and said, "Hey, we want to give money to NIL," and they've said, "No, give it to the stadium fund." And that is where people are getting upset over there, and that is. I mean, I know this is true because I was talking to somebody whose father is a huge booster and a former Florida player who said that that's what they told her, or that's what they told him. And I've heard this from 4 or 5 other people. Yeah, I wanted to give to the NIL, but we were told to give to the stadium fund. Now, I assume that all that's true. If you hear it from enough people, you hope it's true. But yeah, I don't want it to be true. It's stupid if it's true. It's like the SEC giving money to the team that gets the field stormed on them. Yeah. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of in my life.
It is. But what you're saying, if true, is interesting and an eyebrow raiser for sure. I will agree with you there. And you got your ear to the ground as much as anybody over there. Hey, listen, we appreciate it. Don't forget another duly noted podcast.com. You can definitely check out Pat there, WREF.com. And we were mentioning it yesterday. The old ball coach had some interesting things to say on your podcast about play calling and so on. So even he chimed in on those play calls, Pat.
How gold am I to have him every Monday? I mean, that
awesome.
is the greatest thing. And he's always, you can just see him biting his tongue, and then he'll just throw something out there, and all of a sudden everybody goes, "Oh, there's a story. We got a story."
Yeah, love it. All right, man. Thanks. Appreciate you catching up, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, see you guys. Always a pleasure.
All right, at Pat_Dooley, another duly noted podcast.com. You can definitely check him out on RUF. So what he said is interesting. If they're saying, hey, we need to, and this is going to be the challenge, do we pay players? Do we take booster money and contribute to the university? Do we make sure that stadium gets to where it wants to? There's a lot of stuff that boosters are being asked to pay for.
Absolutely.
A lot of freight being moved. So we'll see what happens with that, but that was definitely interesting. All right, into the 3 o'clock hour. Maddie and I gave our XLP to the CFP yesterday. Big Sur has his. We will keep it going. Back to your Jags with some very interesting thoughts on the text line coming up. The Golf Club of Southampton, Wednesday, right here on XL Primetime.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL. It's not reinventing the wheel, it's making it roll down the field.
Let's keep it rolling.
Listen for the Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville drive of the game.
That's a great drive right there.
On 1010XL.
Keep going. We got to keep going, keep going, keep going.
Construction going on all over the place. You know that. I know that. We see buildings going up left and right. It could be homes, could be commercial businesses, whatever it might be. There's just a lot of growth in North Florida. So if you're just looking and moving in and you're looking around and you maybe bought a house and you want to remodel addition because once you put your money into it, you want to increase the value of it, get in touch with Preferred Builders. They definitely can help you. Remodels and additions are a great way. If you love that real estate, that address, then you can soup up the look and feel and comfort of your home. Check out preferredbuildersjacks.com. And don't forget, with all that soggy weather we had, if your roof is needing replacement or repair, you need those guys to take care of you. PreferredRoofingJacks.com.
Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Mia here for MyBookie. Our listeners have been killing it in a year full of surprises. MyBookie is the one book that's got your back. No fluff, no second guessing, straight up action. Does your other sports book pay out when you push on a bet? MyBookie pays you back. And if you're new to the game and not sure where to start, we've got you covered. Step 1, use our promo code 1010XL. That will double your bankroll with a 100% deposit bonus right from the jump. Here's a pro tip to get you rolling. The NFL teams with powerhouse offensive lines are dominating the run game this year, and betting game total unders has been printing money. Stack that with MyBookie's risk-free Thursdays. Why wait? That's right there, a new risk-free odds boost every Thursday. To find the bet, click the Bet Boost tab and scroll down. If it hits, you win. If it doesn't, MyBookie refunds your money. Sign up now and get your double deposit bonus with MyBookie, the best sign-up bonus for Florida bettors. Bet anything, anytime, from anywhere with MyBookie.
Are spooky plumbing problems haunting your home this Halloween? Don't be scared. Call Duck Duck Rooter, your ghost-busting plumbing heroes.
Hi there, I'm Brian, your friendly plumber. Is your toilet making ghostly groans, or is your sink dripping like a vampire's fangs?
Don't let plumbing problems give you the heebie-jeebies. Call Duck Duck Rooter at 904-862-6769 and chase those spooky issues away.
Duck Duck Rooter, because even plumbing nightmares deserve a happy ending. Quacktastic service guaranteed.
It's a scary time of year.
Especially for North Florida jewelry stores. It's a buy one, get one free on wedding bands. Happening now through Halloween.
At the St. John's Town Center or at BeardsDiamonds.com.
At Hidden Hills Golf Club, we truly love the game of golf. We invite you to book your next tee time here and enjoy a golfing experience that you might not find at other public facilities. Visit us at hiddenhillsgc.com. You'll be glad you did.
Grab your lucky spot on the couch, because traditions make Sunday easy to enjoy. Bud Light, easy to Sunday, easy to enjoy. Bud Light is the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2024. Anheuser-Busch. Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
What's the weekend in sports look like? I'm Dan Hicken, and I'll give you my take on the Weekend with Dan. Find it on YouTube and Facebook. Weekend with Dan, brought to you by Stone Core. We do outdoors better.
Elbow pain, whether acute or chronic, can make it difficult to do normal activities like playing sports, doing household chores, or even sleeping comfortably. Dr. George Barr here, and no one wants to deal with pain without solutions on how to feel better. We've all heard of tennis and golfer's elbow, but there's plenty more that can cause pain, like osteoarthritis, muscle tears, and nerve entrapment. All are treatable at Barr Orthopedics. Getting you back to full health is our mission, and there's a number of different treatment options we can offer. Call us today or visit barrorthopedics.com.
Welcome to ABS Advanced Business Solutions, your local print management partner and home to Xerox and HP copiers.
Advanced Business Solutions.
GoABSinc.com.
Your car is like part of your family. It takes you to work, drops the kids off at school, goes with you on vacation. You feel safe in your car, but all that can change in an instant due to someone else's carelessness. Now you need money for medical bills, car repairs, lost wages. You need help, and you need it now. If you've been injured in a car accident, call us at 396-5555. Farah and Farah, protecting you and your family since 1979. Jacksonville.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
Hey folks, this is Dave Benyon with my son Ammon here from Zero Res. Ammon, you've been cleaning air ducts for a while now. What are some of the reasons customers might consider getting their air ducts cleaned?
There are many reasons. Many times, people suffer needlessly from poor indoor air quality produced by the conditions in their air system. Construction dust, the presence of bacterial growth, and years' worth of buildup all come together to make your air ducts a pretty gross place. If you suffer from allergies, have recently moved, recently remodeled, or have never had your air ducts cleaned, then now is the best time to call. By calling Zero Res, you'll have the peace of mind of knowing that you called the best of the best. Our state-of-the-art truck mount system and top-of-the-line service representatives simply can't be found anywhere else. Google Zero Res and read thousands of 5-star reviews.
So what kind of deals can I expect?
Just mention that you heard us on the radio, and we'll give you $100 off your air duct cleaning.
Wow, that sounds like a pretty great deal. Remember, folks, Zero Res,
spelled forward or backwards, it's the right way to clean.
CEROREC. Zero Res.
This is Molly McDonald with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update. Brought to you by Chad and Sandy Real Estate. This Saturday, the college football world will take center stage in Austin, Texas, as the number 5 Georgia Bulldogs head on the road for an electric matchup against the number 1 Texas Longhorns. Bulldogs head coach Kirby Smart spoke on the challenging matchup.
Moving on to Texas for us, obviously a huge matchup. It's going to be a top 10 two teams in the country. A lot of respect for Sark. You know, I've gotten to know Sark really well over the last couple of years. We take a trip every year together and really enjoy getting to know him and have a lot of respect for the job he does. I mean, the most complete team that we've seen or faced this year, probably in multiple years. When you look at what they're doing defensively, offensively, and special teams, they are clearly one of the best teams in the country with what they do.
Bulldogs and Longhorns kick off Saturday night at 7:30. It's 68 degrees at 3 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
The Valley Loafers and the Cartiers. What's up? I do my thing any harder way.
This is XL Primetime, brought to you by Florida Home AC. Now that's cool on 1010XL.
Having a good time on a beautiful Wednesday. Golf Club of Southampton bringing it to you. They've always got great things going on. And the thing that Derek, and that's Derek DeStefano, the owner, proprietor of the Golf Club of Southampton, all the Vals except you. And he and Willie and Jim, and you can go on with all the people there that have worked tirelessly to make sure they get the golf course back up to the level that you expect, because they dealt with the drought and got hit just as hard as anybody, just in terms of trying to make sure those greens stayed the way they wanted them, and they are coming back beautifully. And you got great golf, got great grub. They've got their weekend game day special. You can enjoy wings, pitcher of beer, great deal. Make sure you drop on by the Golf Club of Southampton. Trivia tomorrow night, music on the patio Fridays. Matter of fact, you know what Derek told me last night? Big Sirs, The Voice. I don't know if you've watched it, but The Voice has Reba, has Snoop. It has, I'm trying to think who else. Gwen Stefani. I'm trying to think. Anyway, there are 2 from the First Coast that are auditioning on The Voice to win The Voice, and one of them, maybe even 2 of them, but at least one, KDO, plays on the patio at the Golf Club of Southampton.
Nice.
She was on The Voice. That's pretty cool. Had the 4-chair turn.
Okay.
You know how big that is.
That means she's still in the running?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Definitely still in the running.
All
So
right.
I thought that was pretty cool.
That's
So
what's up.
Yeah, you can enjoy that type of atmosphere on Friday night after a good round of golf. All right, so we did our XLP to the CFP yesterday. Maddie and I did. Matt's doing a story for USA Today Sports today, and tomorrow he'll be back at the end of the week. But we did ours, Big Sirs, with that back kind of giving up on him a little bit yesterday. You didn't get to put yours in. So let's do it right now, man.
All right, let's do it. All right. I'm just going to run through the top 12.
Yeah, you pick 1 or 2 to highlight, but let's go 12 to 9.
Let's 12. At number 12, I got Boise State. What's his name? Ashton Gentry?
Ashton Gentry. Yep.
Come on now. 31 for 217.
He's awesome.
He's got to be at top of the leaderboard as far as the Heisman go. I would go him, and then I would go Travis Hunter, then Cam Ward.
Yeah.
Those would be my top 3.
Yeah, all 3 right now.
All right, now entering at number 11, first time in my top 12. Your guys, the Cyclones.
I love a little
Iowa State Cyclones. First time they've been 6-0 since 1938, bro.
And they beat West Virginia on the road.
Did.
And Rocco
back,
Beck.
they had a road game before that. They beat them 28-16. So I've got the Iowa State Cyclones at number 11. Number 10, I've got Clemson Tigers. At number 9, I got Alabama. Scare. South Carolina gave them all they could take.
Yes, they did.
All right.
Right down to the wire.
All the way down to the wire. The onside kick, I thought it was over when they got the onside kick. But they was able to survive it. So I've got Alabama at number 9. Number 8, I got LSU. At number 7, I got Georgia.
Okay,
now Georgia at 7.
You're moving LSU back in.
Yeah.
That means you knocked Ole Miss out,
Yeah,
correct?
Ole Miss has got to go.
Okay.
Ole Miss has got to go. So I've got Georgia, Carson Beck, He had a great game in that game. He did 359 yards, 3 touchdowns.
He threw a bunch.
He did. I'm only concerned with Georgia is that they were up. They were up in the start of the second half, and then they got outscored by Mississippi State the rest of that game.
I was looking for a number here to kind of go right along with you, just as far as the way things – Mississippi had lost 5 straight, and they came into that game, and they definitely stayed.
They were down 34-10.
Yeah.
Early in the second half, and then they outscored Georgia 21-7.
Yeah, because it was ended up, a 41-31
What's up with
win.
Kirby and that push on that quarterback, man? What was the deal with that?
I don't know.
Huh?
I don't know. But I
don't know. That kid, that was only his second start. He played pretty well. Kept him in the game, only lost by 10.
Yeah.
I don't know. It got emotional. You just don't see that a lot often. You don't see coaches going after quarterbacks like that.
I agree. And by the way, Carson Beck did throw a couple of picks, too.
He did, absolutely. At number 6, I got Ohio State. They tumbled a little bit after that loss to Oregon. It was a close game, though. I didn't want to drop them too much because they could have won that game. What was Will Howard thinking?
I don't know. He tried to slide, and I don't know exactly. I believe the rules are once you slide, they don't count any more yardage because you're going feet first. And I believe the clock is supposed to stop. But bottom line is, between Dan Lanning running 12 people out there and Will Howard fouling it up, there were only 10 seconds left, and he used up more than 6.
Yeah, that 12th man was intentional.
Oh, you better believe it. And it's so funny. You'll get a kick out of this. The NCAA has had an emergency meeting. This happened late Saturday night. They've had an emergency meeting, and they said they're going to deal with that. And they may even put a rules change in before the end of the season. The NCAA never moves that fast.
Exactly.
And this ain't the first team. I promise you this, and you know this. We're acting like Dan Lanning was the first guy that said, let's create may not have been 12 men on the field before to get the penalty, but there have been teams that have either held or whatever and let clock come off trying to win a football game.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you know what? It's in my opinion, and RJ, I know how much you love the NBA, but it's the perennial, when you see the perennial flop, okay? You see like guys, when offenses are churning and putting in that best effort, and the next thing you know, some guy goes down with a knee or a hamstring and all that kind of stuff. But you got to penalize teams for that. That's just a perennial flop.
And the thing is that whenever I'm trying to think of an example of one.
Now, that 12th man wasn't that, but I'm just saying I've been seeing that go on throughout this season where guys just all of a sudden they're in the huddle and then they just drop to the ground like they injured.
And they're like, well, you can't accuse them of faking an injury if they're really injured. I know exactly what you're talking about. All right, who else you got?
So at number 5, I got Penn State at number 5. Number 4 team is BYU. Number 3 team, Miami's got a big one this weekend at noon, kickoff and against Louisville. So I got Miami at number 3. At number 2, I got Texas.
Okay. You and I are vibing right now because I ended up moving Texas back as well.
Yeah, I moved them back. I mean, I wasn't that impressed with Oklahoma. I really wasn't. I mean, you're talking about a team that couldn't generate any offense. Now, Texas has got a great defense, and they got a great offense. But the Oklahoma team was so pedestrian. I was like, what are they doing?
I'm going to go right along with you with your point before you give your number 1. Who has Texas beat? Unfortunately, we have to look at who they play, and even though they are in the mighty SEC and they've got big ball games coming up inside the SEC, they have now beaten a ranked Michigan team and a ranked Oklahoma team. How long will those two be ranked?
Not long.
Yeah.
And both of those teams that you mentioned, Michigan and Oklahoma, got quarterback issues.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
They won't. The team they play this Saturday won't have quarterback issues.
No.
And my number 1 team is Oregon, the Ducks, the mighty Ducks. That's them.
Dylan Gabriel, and honestly, they came to play. That setting the scene, Outson Stadium, it may have packed in, well, I don't know, 30% less than what you have up at the Horseshoe, but they are loud, and Matt says it all the time, they are on top of you. So that was a pretty damn good win. They, right now, push their way to the top. Last 3 games by an average of 26 points. They have definitely done their job. And Dylan Gabriel was able to overcome last week with a couple red zone interceptions by playing some real efficient ball this go-around. All right, I like that. All right, so you got your XLP to the CFP Top 12. We did put it out on YouTube, so you can go search 1010XL. You can see Maddie and I as we go through it. But I'm going to jump to the NFL with this right now.
Here's a bold fact brought to you by Bold City Brewery, Duval's first craft brewery. Online at boldcitybrewery.com.
Now, when this guy from Nassau County went up to star in Nashville, you couldn't really root for Derrick Henry, could you? You really couldn't. But now that he's in a Baltimore Ravens uniform and the change of scenery, he seems to have rejuvenated himself. It's unbelievable the stuff that he is putting together. So let's put a bold fact together with Derrick Henry. Thanks to Bold City Brewery, they just celebrated 16 years. Duval's oldest brewery. Awesome anniversary party over the weekend. You can still enjoy all of what they have to offer by dropping by Roselle Street, their production house right there in Riverside. Great kitchen, great craft, and then also Bay Street, downtown. Check out Bold City. You can log on boldcitybrewery.com and see all that they have got going on. So how about this? When you start thinking about what he's been able to do, Sunday, it was Derrick Henry's 20th career game with at least 100 rushing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. He's the Diesel, once again, 4th player in NFL history with 20 games like that. Can you name the other 3? 100 yards rushing
and 20 touchdowns.
And no, 2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns
in that game. So he's done that. 100 yards, 2 scores, 20 times in his career.
20 times in his career.
Only 3 others have been able to do that. And I'll give you an idea.
What about LaDainian Tomlinson?
Boom! He hits one of them. All right, right there. Just keep right there. So LaDainian has 25. 25 games he's done that.
That's a lot.
100. So you got to think about guys that when the run game was the run game, the most important thing.
Yeah. Emmett's got to be there. No Emmett? Yeah, got to be Emmett.
All right, he's 2/3 of the way there. Emmett did it 21 times.
Okay. Let me see who else is.
I'll just give you one small little hint. You've named 2 Hall of Famers. Whenever you do stuff like this, you probably are. Another one is a Hall of Famer as well.
Yeah, maybe Marshall Faulk.
Nope.
Marshall.
Nope.
Okay, no Marshall. Barry Sanders.
Nope, that's a good one.
Wow,
this guy's the OG.
The OG?
Yeah.
Oh, it either got to be Jim Brown.
It's Jim Brown.
Jim Brown.
Yeah. That's when he was clearly a man among boys, and everything ran through the run game.
Yeah.
And so 25 games where Big Jim Brown had at least 100 on the ground, at least 2 rushing touchdowns. LaDainian and Emmett did it. Both LaDainian and Jim did it 25. Emmett did it 21 times, and Derrick Henry now at 20. That is real.
That's impressive.
Yeah, and it's just, and the thing is that we're right now reaching a point where you think most running backs start to run out of gas. Well, the Diesel is not doing that, and he's put together some really rare numbers, and he's in a situation now where he's got a lot of other good complementary pieces around him. He ain't the only thing that defenses need to fear, Lamar being the biggest one.
Yeah, that's his own read from hell. Because you listen, you got to pick your poison.
Yeah.
I mean, because you give it to Derrick, he gonna run you over. You give it to Lamar, he gonna outrun you.
And the other thing is, and this is what will drive Jaguar fans a little crazy, because we came into this year thinking Jacksonville was going to have a lot of offensive weaponry to use and showcase and show off and score and all that kind of stuff. Because of the addition of the first rounder, Evan Ingram coming back, Tank looking good. You felt like you were going to be able to add to all the other pieces that you already had. Think of what they got. They got Lamar, reigning MVP. They got Derek. Both of those guys could easily be in the MVP conversation. They got Zay Flowers balling his behind off. You got 2 tight ends. Mark Andrews healthy again, back in the end zone again, along with Isaiah. And then you can go down the line and throw the other receivers that are just kind of filling in the blanks. Yeah, they got it going on right now. That's for sure. They are a machine. All right, let's stay on the NFL Jaguar talk. We got our man, Dr. George Barry, dropping by with some injury questions and concern. We will do that coming up in just a bit. It's XL Primetime on a Golf Club of Southampton Wednesday.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. Get entertaining insight on Sunday's games all day Monday.
They came together as a team.
Sink your teeth into Dandy Foods Postgame Monday. It is a game. Makers of quality fresh sandwiches and home of the good stuff on 1010XL.
Looking for a new vehicle? Take a look at Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville. Now's the time to save big. Choose from more than 250 new and over 1,000 used and certified pre-owned vehicles on the lot, or shop anytime at JenkinsHyundaiofJacksonville.com. Hyundai has one of the top warranties in the business. Lifetime, powertrain, and 5-year bumper-to-bumper warranty, plus 3 years free maintenance on a new vehicle. Give them the chance to earn your business today on Atlantic Boulevard or at JenkinsHyundaiofJacksonville.com.
This is Richard Miller with your Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles Update. Our monthly card show Inside Showtime is this Saturday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. A strong selection of sports cards with around 20 tables of our vendors. Card show this Saturday from 9 to 4. Inside Showtime, sports cards and collectibles. Update your collection.
Don't be sidelined from an injury that keeps you out of the game. Get the care the pros receive. Now available at Injury Care Centers, newly FDA regenerative treatments that will significantly shorten your recovery time. Sprains, strains, fractures, post-op surgeries, cut your recovery time in half or shorter. Masking pain just makes it worse. Fix it now. Call 904-783-0008. That's 904-783-0008. Injury care starts at Injury Care Centers.
Ready to sharpen your aim or find the perfect firearm? Come to St. Nicholas Guns and Range for our White Tag sales event. Up to 20% off all White Tag firearms all October, with a huge selection of guns, ammo, and gear, plus Jacksonville's best indoor range for every skill level. They've got what you need to hit your target. If you're a pro or just starting, their friendly experts will guide you at 4630 Planning Boulevard or online at stnickguns.com. St. Nicholas Guns and Range, gear up, shoot a lot, shoot better.
Poker players, brace yourselves. The World Poker Tour storms into Best Bet Jacksonville October 31st to November 19th, and the forecast calls for massive prize pools. Event 1 has a cool $200,000 guarantee. Event 6, a downpour of $300,000. And the main event, a flood of a $1 million guarantee. WPT Championship satellites are already brewing. Don't get left high and dry. Head to bestbetjacks.com for details. That's bestbetjacks.com.
This is Dr. Kevin Murphy with Southeast Orthopedic Specialist, congratulating 1010XL Scholar Athlete of the Week, Kendall Utley, senior volleyball player at Sandalwood High. Kendall is a member of the National and English Honor Societies. Congratulations, Kendall.
The Florida Forum welcomes former UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson, October 29th. Funds raised for a Kids Care Mobile ICU, a neonatal and pediatric critical care transport vehicle. Kids Care vehicles and helicopters safely transport more than 2,500 infants and children a year to Wolfson Children's Hospital. To get your tickets, click thefloridaforum.com or call 202-2886. 202-2886.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool? Today's
contestant, a gravy taster from Jacksonville, Florida, me, Dennis Mosley. Hi, Ken. Okay, Dennis. 100 plumbers surveyed, top answer on the board. What does it mean if someone says your home has hard water?
It's made of ice? Let's see. Hard water. Oh, is it club soda mixed 4-to-1 with vodka?
Last chance, Dennis. What is hard water?
Oh, is it that lime scale stuff that makes my taps all crusty?
That's right, Dennis. And a water treatment system from Bueller Air and Plumbing will eliminate troublesome lime scale deposits that can ruin your expensive appliances and let your neighbors know for sure that you are cool.
I wonder if I can get me a gin and tonic faucet.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Collisions happen on every play in football. Collisions also happen every day on the road. If you need auto body repair, from a $30 job to a $30,000 job, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Hey, Hicken here with a message from Zero Res. Can you believe they've been cleaning carpets in Jacksonville now for 20 years? Dave Benyon and his family and staff are so grateful of things and appreciate you, their great customers. In fact, October's birthday month for Zero Res. So what are we doing for customers? Just say happy birthday, Zero Res, and we'll give you $50 off. That's $50 off carpet, tile, and grout, upholstery, or area rugs. Zero Res, man. Spell it forwards or backwards. Zero Res. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Our next guest is not affiliated with the NFL or Jacksonville Jaguars.
Discussion of injuries is solely based on opinion.
Now, the Bari Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Injury Breakdown.
I'm coming in hot.
I always like to call him Gio. He answers to it, but this week it's Euro Gio, back from Europe. And I would think a fun trip with the family, and then also what was supposed to be a fun trip to a Jaguar game. We'll ask you about that. But we got Dr. George Bari Orthopedics. You can log on. You can see all that they have to offer. If you have an ache or a pain, shoulder, knee, hip, whatever it might be, you can hit the text line 641-1010. You can throw a question Gio's way. He will try and help you. He's scrubbed up in everything. How was Europe, first off, before we get to
Europe
the game?
was great.
Yeah.
I mean, it was fun to you just go on vacation.
Took the kids. They loved it.
Wife and kids, they loved it. Everything was awesome. I'd never been to London.
Mm-hmm.
London is expensive.
Yeah.
It's like very expensive.
Yeah.
It's so I guess because the pound to the dollar, it's like everything's 30% more when you convert.
Right.
to
We're
the
taking
dollar.
a little bit of a beating right now, right?
Yeah. The euro it's almost the same, but the pound was 30%.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Glad we revolted and broke away from them. You know what's
way back when.
Way back when. So tell me about the game. I mean, listen, I'm watching it at 9:30 in the morning. I'm watching the stadium, and
so
I didn't see many Jaguar fans.
So I'll be honest, there were not many Jaguar fans, and I know it's a quote unquote away game, but it's it's in a different city. It's in London, so I didn't know if there would be a difference, but it was all Green Bay Bears fans. And very minimal Jaguar fans, I'll be honest.
Mm-hmm.
The stadium is cool. It's literally in the middle of a neighborhood. The houses are, I don't know, like 30 feet away from it, from the stadium, which is a cool sight. Stadium is great. They have 1,000 urinals in the bathrooms, which is a little different than what I was used to. But I will say, as much as I complain about the Jaguar Stadium prices, at least the food is edible.
Oh, yeah.
The food in London was great, but the food at the stadium
not so much
was terrible. And I wasn't the only one. A bunch of people, because we went with like 13 of us.
Yeah.
We all agreed the food was inedible. But overall, the stadium was pretty cool.
Yeah. It's so funny because I always consider, like, whenever you see the international games, it's like a Baskin Robbins of jerseys. Because there
were every single jersey possible. At first, I was like, why is this guy wearing a jersey? Why is this guy wearing
they
that?
just love the
And then
NFL.
I realized it's a thing. Everyone's wearing different jerseys.
Yeah, 100%. They just love the NFL. All right, now let's get into a couple of injuries. And the biggest one Big Searcy and I were talking about this. You take a look at that Aiden Hutchinson injury, a broken tibia
T-fib.
and T-fib, so that tibia and fibula.
Yep.
Go through it and explain that, because that's the lower leg, and that's pretty dang significant.
Those are the two bones in your lower leg, right? So he snapped them both, and he had surgery already. And usually what you do is you do a tibial nail or a rod down the inside of the bone of the tibia. The tibia is your main bone, the shin bone. You normally don't have to fix the fibula. It will heal on its own. Once you reduce the tibia, usually the fibula reduces. You can fix it, but more often than not, you don't have to fix it if it's a midshaft fibula fracture. Now, saying that, usually out, 6 months, 4 months at the earliest, if you can, recover that quickly. But so 4 to 6 months is at least the timeline to be able to get back, which if you say 4 months, which is on the very fast end of it, that puts him in February, right? So playoff / Super Bowl type timeline. So maybe if he's lucky and can get it going, he can get back to that. But then I think it's very optimistic. It is possible, but I think it's optimistic.
Will he be cast up? I mean, once will you need a cast to stabilize it, or what kind of procedures is done to kind of stabilize?
Yeah. So once you put the nail in, so you make an incision near the knee, and you drop a nail through it. Once you do that, you don't need a cast anymore, right?
Because when you say nail, that I'm hurting right now.
Metal, it's a metal rod.
Okay, all
that
right.
goes in the middle of the tibia.
And you do not need to cast it.
You do not need to. Well, you have an internal cast basically at that point, right? It's stabilized, and some doctors might even let you put some weight on it with crutches. Some doctors have you non-weight bearing for a week or two. But yeah, I mean, in theory, the point of putting a nail instead of plate and screws is a nail can weight bear, and so you can, in theory, walk on it right away. And obviously, you're gonna need some crutches, but you can walk on it right away.
That is nuts. All right, a couple quarterbacks in the college football world. Graham Mertz being the one closest to here. Gainesville with the Gators losing their starting quarterback. Season's over, ACL, and it was one of the stranger ones, Gio. We're talking about it's not like he just tripped. I'm not going to go that far as to say it was like that, but we've heard of non-contact.
Yeah.
This was totally different than that. At least that's what it appeared to me.
I wasn't able to see it since I wasn't here when the game was played, but I don't think anybody tackled him, right?
No.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a non-contact. Obviously, there's different types of usually we think of non-contact. People are running, they go to make a cutting move,
exactly,
and their ACL gives out on them. It sounds like his wasn't that in that manner, but I mean, we've seen crazier things. We saw last year Super Bowl guy just running from the sideline and Achilles tore.
Right.
And so there's definitely just freak accidents that happen. And unfortunately for him, it happened on that play, and he's going to be out for the season.
Now, Gio, tell me how this happens. Now, this happened way back when, but you just got to explain this phenomenon to me, right? So I'm at it's 2000. It's the national championship game. Miami is playing Ohio State. Clinton Portis blows out his ACL at the game, right? We end up losing the championship. Bogus call, but that's another thing. So, all right. So my agent at the time was Drew Rosenhaus, and I said, Drew, that's a shame, man. That's going to cost me. He said, listen, he's going to be running at his pro day. And his pro day was April. He blew it out in January. On his pro day, I was there, the week before the draft. He ran his 40. Please explain that phenomenon.
It's nuts.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously that's a different beast, right? That's not the everyday person that goes therapy twice a week. I'm sure he had therapy twice a day. Now, when you tear your ACL and you go to rehab, we always say 9 months to go back and play sports. We've seen a couple NFL players do 6 months, right? And that's kind of been a thing now. People trying to do studies on 6 months. They're still showing higher re-tear rate. But here's the caveat. You can run in a straight line, right? Because that does not put your ACL at risk. We always talk about the cutting injuries that put your ACL at risk. So if he was able to get his quad strength back in 4 months, which is a great feat, but at least enough to run straight, you can run in a straight line, no problem. It just becomes the cutting motion is now when you increase the risk of re-tear before the 9 month period.
Well, he didn't do any running back drills. All he ran was a
straight line,
straight line. And I'm sitting there saying, this is crazy,
right? That
he blew his ACL like 4.5 months earlier, and now he's out here.
Did he run it pretty fast?
He ran 4.4.
I mean, that's phenomenal.
Yes,
it looked like it was shredded. It really did. All right, take a look at this. Just see if you can. So this is just a little bit of the replay. So he's limping off, and you'll see just maybe where they show. And Gio, this is like, if you're watching on YouTube, he's having to jump up here and look at it, but it just looks so strange because he delivers a nice throw, no pressure really to speak of. Then he limps off, and then he ultimately comes back later where he's got the crutches on the sidelines. Here it is right here. You can see him. He just kind of loses his footing.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
That's a freak. That's just a.
Yeah, watch. Okay, and we're talking, all he's doing is just kind of hopping.
He's not even doing anything. He's almost like, hopping backwards.
Yeah.
That's so weird. That's a freak. That's a freak injury.
Throw had been delivered.
Yeah.
So it didn't happen on the throw. It could have potentially.
This is where we talk about most of the main reason why you have a non-contact ACL injury is anatomic reasons, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have a small ACL, you have a small notch, the way that your knee goes to valgus, all these are anatomic reasons you could tear it.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was going like 2 miles an hour, hop and take a little hop step backwards, and his knee, his ACL gave out. Yeah. And that's very unfortunate.
Well, fortunate for you, he's going to probably take a medical red shirt, and he's going to probably be there 8 years.
Yeah, between him and Cam Rising, if Cam Rising comes back, he'll have an 8th year as well.
Yes.
It's just nuts. You got a 9-year dude down in
and we got an 8-year dude.
8-year dude?
Yeah, 8-year dude.
That's something else. All right, Gio, we appreciate it as always. Don't forget, you can log on BariOrthopedics.com. We have Breaking Bones Sunday morning. Well, actually, Sunday afternoon after the 5th quarter, because this will be the second game in London. So right after the 5th quarter, we will pop on. But if you have a sports injury question, 641-1010, we'll try and get it on Breaking Bones. They can find our podcast.
Apple, Google, Spotify.
All right, my brother. Dr. George Bari back on this side of the pond. Euro, Gio, for at least one more week. It is XL Primetime.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers. Now, the Randy Marion Cadillac Drive of the Game. Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville. Drive to the game in luxury with Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville.
Facing a deficit going into the second half, Jacksonville would look to make a statement and get back in the contest. And thanks to an 11-play sequence led by Trevor Lawrence, capped off by a Gabe Davis 21-yard touchdown, the Teal and Black would make the score 21-10 in the third period. The 70-yard drive is your Randy Marion Cadillac Drive of the Game.
Hey everybody, Jennifer Marion with Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville here to say hello, and we'd sure like to have your business.
You know what? They're going to love the king of price.
My dad believes in making great deals and having a great selection in stock.
Cadillac XT4s, XT5s, and XT6s, and Escalades.
The all-electric Cadillac Lyriq.
CT4s and CT5s.
Cadillac luxury and selection is just waiting for you.
At Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville.
And don't forget, tell them Jennifer sent ya.
I'm Chris Campione. In a world of big box law firms with satellite offices, there's something special about having a local legal team that cares about you and your community. We're not just lawyers, we're your neighbors. We understand the unique challenges facing the Jacksonville community because we live here too. At Campione Law, Campione Cares isn't just a tagline, it's our commitment to you. Campione Law, your trusted lawyers after an accident. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione, Campione Law.
Introducing Gatorade Water. Alkaline and electrolyte infused for great taste. Gatorade Water, always in motion.
Find it at your local Winn-Dixie. For the athletes who give everything, nothing beats Gatorade, the studied, tested, and proven fuel of the world's greatest athletes. Gatorade Water, proudly supporting high school sports on the First Coast.
When you're shopping for insurance, you might say, "What?
Huh? I'm so over this."
But what you really need to say is something that could actually help.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
When you get a local State Farm agent, they can help make it easy and help you choose the coverage you need. Plus, they're available online, over the phone, or even in person.
I'm so into this.
Call State Farm agent Gene Coleman at 764-4139.
I'm Frank Frangie, and I've depended on South State for my banking needs as long as they've been serving Duval. Whether you're saving for retirement, purchasing a home, starting a business, your goals are their commitment. With forward-thinking, personalized banking solutions and best-in-class service, South State is ready to help you navigate your financial journey. Connect at southstatebank.com or drop by any of the 5 local South State offices. South State Bank, member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On October 16, 1974, MLB Oakland A's pitcher Ken Holtzman, in his first at-bat of the season, hits third-inning home run in Game 4 of the World Series.
Frank Frangie here, and it's time to beat Big Joe. Each week, my buddy Big Joe from Bono's Barbecue will pick 10 college football games. Pick more wins than Big Joe that week. You'll get entered into a drawing to win a $25 Bono's gift card. If you pick more wins than Joe all season long, you'll be entered to win the grand prize: 2 tickets to the SEC Championship game, 2 tickets to the Dr. Pepper tailgate party, and $1,500. Enter to win on the Bono's app. The contest ends on November 23rd. Grand prize winner will be named on the 25th. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
You've worked hard to have nice things. Protect and enjoy them with a luxury storage unit at The Shed, opening soon in Atlantic Beach. You got to see these places to believe them. What a smart investment out at AB. I can take 10 minutes, but I can't tell you everything. Go to theshedjacks.com or take a tour on Instagram.
Bet live with Hard Rock Bet. Real-time wagering till the very last play. Missing the kickoff doesn't mean all bets are off.
Delay a game on the guy who hasn't bet yet.
Sometimes you just know your team is going to come back. The sportsbook for every kind of player. Hard Rock Bet. Roll with us. Get up to $100 back if your first bet doesn't win. Payable and bonus bet up to $100, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Make a crucial catch against colon cancer. Hicken here for the Borland Groover Foundation. If you're 45 or older, the ball is in the red zone to get screened. The key to surviving colon cancer: early detection and prevention. 45 is the new 50. Get screened for colon cancer now. The Borland Groover Foundation is a nonprofit organization devoted to building a healthy and equitable community that is free from colon cancer. Visit BorlandGrooverFoundation.com for more.
City AC, heating that rules.
Is your AC ready for the holidays? Bold City Heating and Air ensures your AC stays in tip-top shape. We know that a clean AC is a healthy AC. Upgrade yours for just $96 a month and enjoy free duct cleanings with your new system. Plus, ask about our 0% financing options.
Bold City AC, we got the crew. Bold City AC.
Visit boldcityac.com.
Hayes Carline here. If you're like me in the fall, you want to watch football, not clean. Enter Molly Maid, voted Bold City Best Cleaning Service 3 years in a row. Molly Maid is reliable, friendly, and thorough. Visit mollymaid.com.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Jaguars head coach Doug Peterson on the challenge of turning around a 1-5 start.
We're 1-5. We are where we are. We've, as they say, if you make your bed, you got to lie in it, right? And so that's where we're at. And it's a great opportunity for us to really turn this thing. And again, you just want to go out and win a game, right? And try to get things going in the right direction. So I understand, where he's at, and obviously where we are, and that's why I feel like even today the guy is being in a good spot and emotionally ready for another opportunity.
Doug Peterson on Wednesday. I'm Andrew Gibson with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air, Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since '87.
Well, my takeaway is that this team is 1-5, and no one cares. And the only people that should care about...
Don't make me cry.
It's true. I told you, Joe, I'm done. Emotionally, I'm detaching myself from this team. I'm tapped out. I'm going to be an analyst from now on. I'm too emotionally attached to it. But this team has got to find a way to win one ball game against a lowly Patriots team. We're talking about 1-5 against 1-5.
See, I believe you when you say it, but you heard what Doug said, and he said that the guys are into it, and they just
I don't believe him.
They just need to get one, and it just sounds like
It's more rhetoric. That's all it is. It's more computerized AI gibberish.
Now the AI is taking over.
Yes,
Coach Speak, is what you're saying.
Yes,
unbelievable. All right, my takeaway is when you think of finding the right guy, it's not nearly as easy as you think it is. And the question was posed on the text line earlier. Hey, not just the head coach trying to figure that out. The GM is just as difficult. And so that's why I'm maintaining, and I know many others have and will, if you're going to get rid of one, you got to get rid of both. You have to clean house. You can't let someone stick around that has done either a half A job or a half wit job or whatever. Okay? Less than acceptable. And Shad, it's your team. It's your football town. You just got the stadium approved by a 32-0 vote. It wasn't lost on me that not a single NFL owner voted against it. You want to know why? Because they want more revenue. That was the easiest vote ever. But it's your team, Shad, and it's the town's team. So make sure you give them what they want. Give them a winner. I know you've tried. You've given a lot of money and power to people, but it hasn't paid off. And somehow, some way, they need to figure out how to get it to pay off.
Yeah, I mean, would you like him to be more involved in the evaluation process, or just hand Trent the check and write it?
Yeah, I don't want that. I do not want that.
We see what that happens when you do that, right? Yeah. So I just think if you're going to stroke the check, you got to be able to assess and evaluate what kind of talent that you're bringing here. If you write the money,
I believe that his heart's in the right place. He is a fan at heart. He wants to be able to deliver Duval a winner, and like we said, he stroked a bunch of checks. But going from believing in Gus to believing in Doug to believing in Herb to believing in the next Doug, and then all the GM ruin that has taken place as well. You can't keep accepting it.
And listen, I know Shad is a very rich man, all right, and I'm sure he lives in an amazing house, right? But no one just buys a house on how it looks on the outside.
No.
You got to go in all the different rooms. You know what I'm saying? You got to go in the GM room, the head coach's room, the play. You got to go in these different rooms. You got to assess and evaluate each room. Don't just buy the house because it looks good on the outside.
Right.
You got to go in the rooms and make sure that those rooms are adequate to what you're purchasing.
Exactly. Or maybe you could use that yacht.
Or if not, just give me the house. I wouldn't care what the rooms look like.
Or that yacht.
You know what I'm saying? Come on now.
I would love it. All right, we'll find out. But the one thing that did come out of yesterday that was good was the full approval from the National Football League. So you can expect construction will begin. A new stadium will be coming. I think 2028 is when they want to make sure that it's all out. But once everything goes through this year, some construction will start for the 25 and then for 26, and I guess all the plans will start to go forward from there.
And you know what? This Jaguars team, bad players stolen that.
It has. It really
has.
Did you remember how excited we were in the offseason?
Yes,
about
absolutely.
The possibility of return to the playoffs and the new future.
I remember. I mean, all of that has kind of. I mean, don't get me wrong. That's exciting news. Absolutely. Like you said, the owners want more money.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, they're going to vote on the revenue share, with the statement going through. But what I'm saying that the buzz from what it was this offseason to where it is now, man, it's like night and day.
All right, on the stadium subject, real quick, because Gio brought up the food over in London and off the text line, more credit needs to be given to Jags stadium workers, food and drink vendors, attended the Raiders and Chargers game in 22, enjoyed the best customer service at any ball game I've attended. So how about, RJ, a round of applause for those workers inside the bank, because they always make sure that they give you the best experience they can. Now, the high school front has experienced a lot of soggy weather, so let's at least catch people up with our high school hit.
Let's hit the high school football scene on XL Primetime. Brought to you by Gatorade Water. All-day hydration for today's top athletes. Find it at your local Winn-Dixie.
We got plenty to get into when it comes to the high school football world. Thanks to Gatorade. Definitely supporters of high school athletics on the First Coast, and you can find it at Winn-Dixie. And all you got to do is download the Winn-Dixie app right now, and you're going to get discounts on 6 packs of Gatorade and 18 packs of Gatorade. Find it at your local Winn-Dixie. So let's just hit it. Monday night action after Milton. A lot of games to make everything up. St. Augustine rolling big over Clay. 2 pick sixes in the first quarter alone. The Yellow Jackets take the district, so they are moving on. We'll find out how they finish the regular season, but they've already wrapped up the district title. Oakleaf and First Coast, easy victory for Coach Foy and company. Fleming Island hosting Beachside in a battle of district play. Jameer Jackson, impressive running back for the Golden Eagles. Fleming Island big over Beachside, 44-7. That was in District 3, 5A play. Golden Eagles, they can win their district by beating Middleburg or the Broncos losing to Beachside coming up this Friday. You had a lot of other good ones. Creekside in a close one over Atlantic Coast, 43-37. The Knights were up big, like 4 scores. They let the Stingrays back in it, but Sean McIntyre and the Creekside Knights winning 4 straight after an 0-3 start. Ponte Vedra swimming past previously unbeaten Middleburg, and they did it easily over the Broncos, 52-21. The Broncos were rolling with their best start since 1989, but the Sharks eat that up. Parker, winners of 3 straight, 44-12 over Westside, and they keep their district hopes alive. Now, we do have some other big games that will be coming up as far as our Friday night with the remaining games, because the high school schedule is slipping away from us fast. But I want to say thanks to Gatorade Water and, of course, my man Dougie from I-9 Sports. They are introducing all-girls volleyball and flag at Duval Charter, Bay Meadows, and then also at Nocatee all-girls flag, along with flag, soccer, t-ball, and basketball for boys and girls. So you can make sure you check out i9sports.com as they have registration open right now for winter and spring.
The XL Primetime High School Hit. Brought to you by I-9 Sports. Log on to i9sports.com and get your kid in the game.
All right, so let's just wrap up a couple of loose ends, Big Sirs, because we did start out with Doug Peterson, head coach of your Jags, basically saying that he had not talked to Cisco at that point. This was a presser from earlier today, and we got the sound courtesy of Jaguars.com that he had not talked to Andre yet, but it feels like the team will come together and handle it, et cetera, et cetera. Out of that, we had some listeners, XL Primetimers, saying, you know what? At least he said it instead of an anonymous player saying X about another player on the team. At least he said it. Now, he may not have named names, but he did put his name on it. So from that standpoint, you go with that part of it as opposed to letting it seep out?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, because most players wouldn't have the courage to put their name on it. Mm-hmm. They'll say, like you said, anonymous source.
Right.
Had said it. So yeah, he put his name on it, so I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
Still don't like it. Mm-hmm. I don't like it at all. But it's done. It's done. I mean, maybe Doug is saying, you know what? I'm gonna let the guys handle that. I don't want to have to address it.
Right.
But you're reeling right now. You're on the ropes.
Yeah.
I mean, it just felt unnecessary to say.
I guess I would have appreciated it if he said, we need to be together as a team. We need to, we all need to take responsibility. Now, another listener pointed out, hey, what about when Trevor said, we suck right now? Well, at the very least, he included himself when he said, we suck. And he did say, I've got to be better. Others got to be better. Now, I'm not making excuses and saying the way Trevor did it is better or worse than Andre Cisco. They all need to look at each other and say, we have got to figure this thing out.
Yeah, Trevor, I mean, he was inclusive. He was like, we suck.
Yeah.
I mean, he was stating the obvious. I mean, that's all. Yeah.
After that game?
Yeah, after that game, of course. What else was we supposed to say?
And so I know that there aren't going to be too many answers over an 11-game stretch, and some people may think it's already a wash. I'm more of the feeling that this thing has already been baked in to fail than it is to succeed. Yeah, you can bounce back. You can win a few games here or there, but there are plenty of people either on X or on the text like they don't want any life preservers going out there for Trent to hang on to or anybody for that matter. And I don't know how many wins would do that. for Shad Khan, but Shad needs to take a good hard look at what he's got, take stock of what he has and what he doesn't have, and he needs to make a decision and not make an emotional one if they were to win a couple of 3 down the stretch.
Well, I mean, listen, where's the motivation? I mean, after this Patriots game, where's the motivation going into the month of November to be at your best? I mean, because those teams that I mentioned that they're going to be playing, those teams are going to be thoroughly motivated because they understand they understand that in these months of November and December, you got to be playing your best football. It has some carryover into the playoffs. And the Jaguars essentially are mathematically out of it. Now, I don't think they can turn it around. I mean, but I just want at this particular point, whoever teams they play, I just want some fight in them.
Yeah,
show me some fight.
Well,
show me that you got a heartbeat.
I think the saddest thing or scariest or however you want to describe it is that the way last year ended was physically being handled, beaten up, however you want to describe it, by the other team. 5 of the last 6. The only team they won was against a bad Carolina team. That was the only team that they might have been toe-to-toe physical with. The other ones, no. They were physically worked by the other teams. And then here we are.
Just remember this. Remember the Jaguars were 8-3, number 1 seed, and guess who came into town? The Ravens. And they beat us. They gave us a butt whooping. You know, I mean, primetime game, number 1 seed, 8-3, in your house, and that's how you respond.
And by the way, there was a chance at the half, at the goal line, to make it a different football game. We do know that could have happened. That was the play complete to Parker Washington inside the field of play, and then the clock ran out. But how much different could that game have been if something else had gone right at that point? Yeah, ending 5-6, starting 5-6. Neither are good.
Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Injury Care Centers, the exclusive provider of BioTarget regenerative therapy for pain. Visit GoBioTarget.com for a location near you.
Rick Ballou joins us now. You've got the Ballou Carline run over after 2 days.
Yeah, it's over. Hayes said that's enough. 4 hours and I'm out of here. He's in London.
Yeah,
with the bride.
He jumped the pond.
Yeah. Somehow LaSelva stuck around.
Yeah.
For a couple of years. So we're going to do it today.
It truly will be into the night.
Yes. It's going to be a lot of fun. Got a lot of good stuff. We're going to continue to celebrate the great job that Trent Baalke has done. And again, he's not going anywhere, right? He's going to survive all
like
this.
I said, I'm as scared as you are of that particular possibility. I'm asking Shad now, Rick.
Right.
Take stock of this town's passion, and what hasn't happened, and make a good decision.
Who's going to tell him?
I agree with you.
Who's going to tell Shad Khan?
Somebody outside has to get to him. I don't know who. I don't know who he'll ask. He might even ask someone who's unemployed right now named Bill Belichick, something like that, because he's been enamored with him before.
Right.
There is I guess you could call it a respect level or a fondness, relationship. So he might ask somebody like that.
I think there's only one person that he would ask, and that's Baselli. And that's putting a lot on Tony.
Yeah.
But, Tony's is there. He's around the team all the time. I don't think he would ask any other former players. I don't think he'd ask any members of the media. I think he believes that he's above that because he trusts his son. Mark Lamping's very good at what he does as president, but that's the business side of things. Exactly. Does he get involved in the football operation? See, I'm so concerned here because I believe he cleans his resume outside of maybe the Ryan Nielsen hire, which apparently was a Baalke hire, not a Peterson hire. Outside every move that happened, it feels like Trent Baalke can make an excuse and say, that was Urban Meyer, that was Doug Peterson, that wasn't me. So the resume looks almost perfect if Shad actually does have his ear.
And when you convince a guy, an owner, that this is the best roster this team's ever had, and then the owner goes out and says it, then you do have blind faith and trust in the guy telling you that. Because that was an unbelievable statement from Shad to tell everybody, to tell the football world that he's of the mind that that's the best roster this team.
I should have said if Baalke has Shad's ear, not if Shad has Baalke's. But either way, I think we know which way.
All right, you're going to kill it,
going.
I'm sure.
We got a lot of good stuff coming up tonight. John Osher live from the Grove is going to join us. We'll get the very latest on what happened today as far as practice. Rafael Esparza from Las Vegas going to check the money on all the big games going on this weekend. And we hope, if he's off the plane in time, in our second hour, our college football conversation with Fox Sports' Tim Brando. So all that coming up.
Love Timmy. All right, Rick.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
man.
See you guys.
At Baloo 1010XL, into the night, coming up at 4 o'clock this afternoon as he will rock and roll. So, Big, we'll be back at it tomorrow. We'll see what we can solve.
Yeah. We'll solve all the Jaguar problems.
we started with Mr. Fix-It, and we didn't really get anything done. But we had a good time. All right, thanks to the Golf Club of Southampton. Don't forget, you can enjoy a great golf experience every time you go out there. And with everything that's going on off the golf course, trivia Thursday night, music on the patio, you will not go wrong. Check out the Golf Club of Southampton with everything they've got going on. Joe C., Big Searcy, RJ, we've got the Into the Night with Rick Ballou coming up next.
Yeah, I mean, we suck right now, so I don't.
Scared money don't